Thanks very much and welcome to this important session under the title of Optimizing Postal Deliveries, Leveraging Geospatial Data to Develop the E-Commerce Sector. With the session moderator, Ms. Munira Al-Qannas, Platform Manager, Public Speaking Moderator. Once again, welcome to the e-commerce stage. Once again, thanks very much. We extend our appreciation to all of you. When I come here and when I actually sit down here with you, I'd like to extend my appreciation to the teamwork of the General Authority for SMEs for this high-level organizational level of this important conference as well. May Allah bless them, may Allah bless their efforts. The second thing I want to talk about, most welcome. I'm Munira Al-Qannas, and through Biban Conference 24 in its 9th edition, one of the most important, remarkable version of this important international conference. Today we're going to talk about optimizing postal deliveries, leveraging geospatial data to develop the e-commerce sector with Ms. Alia Asabti, the National Address General Manager. May Allah bless you, Munira. Thanks very much for having me with you today. I'd like to send my appreciation to the efforts of the team of Biban for organizing this important conference in its actually 9th version and 9th edition. Before we start talking about about the leveraging geospatial data to develop the e-commerce sector, let's talk about the national address. What about the solution that you are providing, coming up with? What about the most important concept regarding the leveraging geospatial data? So first of all, we are unifying all the services that we are providing continuously to all the sectors. Our main goal, for example, so as to unify all the standards. To do all the standards in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, based on an unified methodology covering all the lands and everything in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So let's say to you that it is the address and the geospatial identity for every building, either in main cities or for example remote areas and remote provinces. The main goal of having the national address is to give a very simple identity that will facilitate the searching process and identifying and how to get to a house as well, so as to have an easy access from point A to point B, and within a very unified mechanism and easy mechanism. And what makes us different in the national address as well is the standardization by studying all the different types of buildings with high level of accuracy with 1 meter square. So it's not only you can get into a part of the building, not all the building. That's the reason why the delivery is very easy. That will enable the deliverer through the door without any communication or with asking a lot of questions or any inquiries. This is very important. So what about the services and initiatives that are provided by the national address regarding the geospatial data, and how, to what extent this will enable the business sector and entrepreneurs as well? We provide numerous services. Our basic services that can be provided with high level of concentration on the targeted sectors, such as the translation, how to translate the short national address, and how can this will lead to indications or additional data or information that will tell the beneficiaries so as to know more about the address and to know where the address is, or in which city or in which destination. So our services, as I mentioned, are very comprehensive, holistic. It has the basic translation of the short address, and you can see it every time and in the map providers, either in Google or Apple or He Maps or every type of maps as well. You can see all of the short address in a way that the search will be very easy, and accurate at the same time. In addition to all of these services, we provide the inquiry services through the ID or the commercial registration number and of the certain company or certain public sector or entity. With these services will, for example, decrease the fraud management and authenticating the places and the places of companies as well. This is very important. This is what is related to the efforts that is provided by the national address. If I am a startup or entrepreneur, how to benefit from all of these services? And the national address will provide the numerous services targeting the logistics overall, in addition to e-commerce as well, and providing the basic translation free for everybody. And we work with Noon and Aramix. We work with numerous companies who are into the e-commerce. At the same time, we hope with Munshaat, through our partnership with Ilm, through a bundle of services like the inquiry through the ID number, or with the SCR, the commercial registration, in a very supported way, to provide it in affordable prices and low prices compared to the other prices that we know all. Let's talk with more details about how to deal with the companies or establishments. For example, is there integration between you and the other entities, or through providing our services through the short address to all the buildings in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is to, for example, to have delivery experience without communication. Our main objective, for example, to enhance our experience through enabling the three main players, the stakeholders, for example, in the circle of the e-commerce commercialization, starting with the consumer and passing by the electronic store, through enabling them to connect with the services that make sure that this address is correct and it exists, and it's the correct address and it's updated. Thereby they will be very able to pass all of these information and data to the other party in the cycle of the stakeholder, like the delivery company, to benefit from knowing the right place and the correct place and in the navigation to this place. So we were enabled to provide seamless delivery experience through the consumer in the same address, and the e-store could make sure that this is a correct address and can translate it with additional information and can pass this information to the last mile or the distributors or the distribution company to translate into X or Y according to the coordinates, for example, to get an easy access to the address designated. So we have provided a very comprehensive mechanism that will help the consumer and the end user, so as to get the product, for example, that he ordered, and with the best type of experience and the less inconveniences without any communication. Does it mean that the customer, when he orders, for instance, he has to use this service, he has to be fully aware of this service? Sure. In the national address, we cover all the buildings in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We have more than 7.8 million national addresses as well. Every user of the national address can actually get in our channel, can use our channel to the app, or he can through our website or the map as well. He can actually benefit from the other maps, Google Maps, in addition to the other type of maps, so the short address to the place where he is intending as well. As long as the beneficiary or the consumer had the short address, will make sure that this experience will be very easy and convenient, in addition to the great effort from the General Authority of Transport, who are providing numerous services through for example, inviting those people who are providing national address to be committed to avoid any inconvenience and any problem facing the consumers or the deliverers. So do you have the statistics as regards to the number of the companies that use the national address? We came to connect 50 company as well. The impact of the connection with these impacts, we came to know, for example, a big difference in the services provided for the company that uses the national address to deliver its products compared to the other companies that do not use the national address. For instance, when the call comes from one distributor up to the doorstep, compared to 4 times, this is the average. Once there is a national address, we observe that the customer satisfaction is high and increased from 70 to 90%. This is is a great indication that the satisfaction of the customers has been increased as well. And at the same time, in addition to the data in a well-structured mechanism, and it will help the optimization of delivery itself. And instead of taking the whole cycle of delivering and optimizing and resourcing the packages up to 3 days, it can be shortened in less than 3 days. In addition to the 20% out of a human efforts, we, for example, decrease the retains to 1% and the time from 4 days to less than 3-4 hours, so as to deliver, for example, as fast as possible. The customer is benefiting a lot regarding a very lucid, flexible, agile experience without any inconvenience. And the e-store, for example, we helped him with decreasing the return. And we shorten the time, increasing the efficiency and effectiveness, in addition to many other great benefits as well. So in short, in brief, if I'm a customer and a client, I don't need any other support, but I use the short address, then the whole mechanism will be smoothly delivered and provided as well. So for instance, I will have a full information and data, and I wouldn't find any problem with any logistics company so as to take or to ask me for another time, to ask me for the address for another times. At the same time, one of the good examples in my mind, we have the short address, HPL. You can actually navigate through the map. It can take you to the best and proper destination on the location. As a customer, how can I know the short address as well? How can you know the short address? Is it in the national address? Yes, it's in WhatsApp as well for the Post, Saudi Post. In addition to the international maps like Google Maps, it can be seen and can be found as well in our digital channels as well. And then you can see the maps, you can see the services related to the map. We mentioned something a short time ago about the accomplishments and initiatives of the National Address Authority, and now everybody can touch the great services provided by the National Authority, National Address Authority. But let's listen to all of these great services and accomplishments in brief, as the short address is one of the most important programs and initiatives that we launched in 2021. And in brief, in short, we had a complete national address based on a very strongly technical solution. But we have seen that we can facilitate, for example, the national address to the beneficiaries through shortening it in one component and representing the phone numbers of the building. This is one of the most important initiatives that we worked on later on, and we came to provide the short addresses. 7.8 million national addresses in the Kingdom Surgery started to work with the beneficiaries. We became able to enable the e-stores, in addition to the distribution companies, to have the direct connection with the services given free, for example, to all the operators and licensed operators. We worked with different entities, local entities and international organizations and regional, like Noon. We worked with the numerous entities, global providers as well. We worked with the licensed postal companies like Ramex, iMile, in addition to the Saudi Post company. We connected. We found the national address. We have connected with them, and through numerous campaigns to raise the awareness of the short address for beneficiaries. Thereby, we were able to achieve the value chain completely from the beginning of adding the short address to the delivery, so as to have a very flexible and beneficial, service to all the parties. You mentioned two main issues. Do you think that there is a high level of awareness among entrepreneurs and individuals of the community? When we raise the level of awareness through our campaigns, we always say that when we repeat and repeatedly say, we ask this question, for example, we are providing our efforts, we provide tangible efforts. Still, we have great ambitions to the fact that we are providing very tangible efforts on the ground. How can we raise the level of awareness? We are continuing to work on numerous campaigns. We are continuous to provide free services to all the beneficiaries, either from the electronic commerce sector or the postal companies. At the same time, we will continue to provide our services to have a better connections, to provide free services, to raise the level of awareness. We're going to do it sustainably and continuously as well. At the same time, we're always keen to hear the feedback from the participants and from the customers. based on the discussion, what are the recommendations you can come up with, and and it can be a very good advice to entrepreneurs. And if entrepreneurs are in e-commerce sector and the postal and logistic services, I open the door for you to benefit from the national address services. We support all the digital entrepreneurs and SME, small and medium businesses and macro businesses as well. We provide our services free through the direct translation or with or supported with 90% level along with Munshaat and the General Authority for SMEs. Our services are not only in having the short address or having the inquiry or knowing the registered address of the persons, individuals or businesses or the entrepreneurs, but as well it will be expanded to provide you with services like analytical geospatial data and analytics, and how can we understand more and more the performance of the market and behavior of the consumer and the clients, and we help you, for example, make high level decisions through analytic solutions as well. This is amazing. Before I come to the conclusion, if there is any question coming from the audience, before we come to the conclusion, if there is any question from the audience, please, we open the floor. Well, anyway, I would like, for example, to come to the conclusion. I would like to extend my appreciation to all the efforts done by the National Address Authority. All these efforts are directed fully to entrepreneurs to facilitate the work and to help them, and because they face a number of hardships in the sector. That's the reason why the importance of such kind of services will enable the entrepreneurs in the future just to face the challenges of the future. So invite all of you, and on my behalf and on the behalf of Miss Alia, to know all of these services are provided by the National Address Authority. Thank you very much, and I come to conclusion of the session with these great words. So we open the floor for one question. If you could take the question from the gentleman right over there in front lines, if we can pass the microphone to the gentleman so that we can hear him attentively.